Hello all. In this video, we will talk about inheritance concept in Java. So let's see here. Let us consider you have four shapes like square, circle, triangle and amoeba. Now, what you need to do is you need to rotate these shapes and you need to write methods to rotate these shapes and you need to write method for play sound as well. Now let us assume this is the square. Now what happens, like how usually people rotate? They just take the center and then like they just based on the center they just do like this, they just rotate it. And even if you take the triangle, what they do is they just take the center and then they just rotate it. Now even for circle, what they do is they just take the center of the circle and then they rotate it. Okay. Now let's consider you have an amoeba shape as well. Okay. Now initially what happens is, let us consider that you have these three shapes and then you write, like you have defined square class and then you have defined circle class and then triangle class, and you have written methods for rotate of and as well as the play sound of. Let's say this square has some mp3 file. Then what you do is, whenever you invoke play sound of method, what it needs to do, it just needs to play that particular mp3 file, and mp3 file can be stored as an instance variable in the circle, square and then triangle. Now what you have done is you have written you have written rotate of method and play sound of method in each of these shapes, and then after writing the code, what you observe is you see the same duplicate code for rotate of method in square and then circle and then triangle. Because what does rotate of method does, it just take the center of the shape, okay, be it any shape, and then it just do like this, it just it just rotates it, okay, it just spins it. Now when you look at the logic you have written in the rotate of method, it is same. It just takes the center, like here if you see, it just takes the center of the square and then it does rotate. And here if you take the circle, it does take the center of the circle and then it does rotate. And then the same thing is applicable for triangle as well. It just takes the center of the triangle and then it rotates it. So the logic, whatever you have written in the square, circle and the triangle is same. And even if you look at the play sound of, it just takes the mp3 file that is stored in square class. The mp3 file is stored as an instance variable and then it just plays that mp3 file. The same thing for circle as well. It just takes the mp3 file that is present in the circle class and then it just plays that. The same thing is applicable for triangle as well. So like after writing everything, you observe that whatever the logic you have put for rotate method and the play sound method in each of the shapes, in all these shapes is same. And when you look at the code, it is duplicate code and no one wants to write the duplicate code, right? Now to avoid this problem, like since the logic is same, why you need to put the same logic in each and every class? You can have an alternative. So that alternative, what you can do is, like if you consider the square, circle, triangle, all these are shapes, right? Be it any shape. Square, if you see, it has four equal sides. The length and the breadth of the square is same. And triangle has three shapes. A triangle has three sides. And if you take this circle, this is the circle. So these are all shapes, okay? But the shapes are different. It's a square shape, it's a circle shape, and it's a triangle shape. And what you can do to avoid this duplicate code is, you can see, like what you can do is you can define one shape class like this, okay? And then whatever the logic that you have written in the each of these classes, you can move to a single central place. Okay, now what you have done is, whatever, like in the step 1, if you see, you have three different classes and three different classes has two methods and the logic present in two methods is same. Now in step 2, what we have done is, to avoid the duplicate code, what I'll do, I'll define a shape class and then whatever the logic that is present in each of these methods, I'll move here. And what I let a square, circle, triangle do is, I'll ask square, circle, triangle shapes to use this rotate, place, sound of logic instead of they defining in their classes. How that can be done? So that can be done by, like in the shape, if you see, you have this rotate, play, sound method logic, and then this square, circle, triangle, they have to extend this class. There is an extends keyword in the Java, and if square extends shape, whatever methods that are present, whatever members that are present in this superclass can be automatically used by the subclasses. So here shape you have defined as a superclass, and then square, circle, triangle, and amoeba is also a shape. These are all the subclasses. So whenever you say a class is a superclass and a subclass, what subclasses does is subclasses inherit all these subclasses inherit members of the superclasses. So if you say if you take any class, what are the members that are present in a class? They are the instance variables and then the methods. So square, circle, and the triangle and the amoeba, these are all the subclasses of the shape. And then if these are the subclasses, what they can do, whatever the logic that is present in the superclass can be automatically used. So by doing this, what benefit we have? Before you had defined the logic, same logic in 3 different classes, but now you have defined that in a single class, and that is being reused by everything. And there is one more advantage also. Let's say in future you can have another shape called hexagon, okay? So like usually if you define a hexagon, what you will do? You will define one more class called hexagon, and you will write rotate of method, play or sound of method again in the hexagon class as well. But with this approach, what you can do, you can just define hexagon class and then you just extend this super class, okay? Whenever you extend it, the rotate method and the play sound logic method is automatically used by the hexagon. So with the help of this inheritance concept or this superclass subclass concept, the duplicate code is avoided and we can use the logic. Now this is not just the shape, like you can compare this with the real world examples also. Like if you take a family tree, like children inherit few characteristics from the parents, because whatever the characteristics that parents have, those will be automatically inherited by the children as well, right? So you can consider this as a parent and these are all the children. Now if you see, now you might get one more doubt. Okay, like my rotate method, like a square, circle, triangle and hexagon has the same logic for rotate method and the play sound method. What if I have to write another, like I have to have a specific logic, like I have to have this rotate method and the play sound method in my class, okay? Like let's consider amoeba. I need to have rotate method and play sound method in amoeba, but whatever the logic that is present in this shape super class is not relevant to me. If amoeba says that, then you will have a problem, right? You have defined some logic and you are telling that your subclasses to use that, but your subclasses has its own behavior. Like this behavior doesn't make sense to the amoeba. So to avoid that problem, how can we do? Like how can we solve that problem? So in this case, what Java says is, though the subclasses can inherit or use methods or the variables that are present in the superclass, they themselves can override the behavior that is present in the superclass, or they can extend the behavior, which means that they can have their own behavior without using the parents or superclass behavior, and they can also use the parents behavior along with the specific behavior of the subclass. So let's start with an example. Now if you take amoeba, like if you see all the shapes, they have a specific center defined, and using the center they have the rotate logic. But if you see the amoeba, right, amoeba does not have any definitive shape. So how you rotate amoeba? Amoeba does not have any center. So the rotate method, since amoeba does not have any center, then the rotate method which is defined, like which is dependent on the center, does not make sense. So amoeba rotate method will be like go to its one of its edges and then hold this edge and then rotate it. The logic, like it has rotate method, but the logic for amoeba method is different, right? So in this case, what you can do is you can write the method, you can write method like rotate method in amoeba class, and it can have its own behavior. Like if you see, you can write rotate of method in amoeba class, and you can write play with sound of method in amoeba class, and you write your own logic. So if you do this, what happens, like if you define rotate method and play sound of method in subclasses as well, when you actually create an instance for amoeba and when you actually invoke rotate of method, JVM takes care of invoking this rotate of method instead of this. Okay, so that JVM will take care. During runtime, when you create an instance for amoeba and when you invoke rotate of method, this rotate method will not get invoked. Whatever the logic that is present here, this gets invoked. Okay, so that JVM will take care of. Now, if you look at this particular diagram, what happens here? So you you can look at this particular diagram. Okay, so by looking here, shape, you have a shape superclass or a parent, and then you have rotate of method and play with sound of method defined in the shape class, and all your classes, subclasses, or the children, square, circle, triangle, they did not write any logic for rotate on the play sound of method. And amoeba needs its own implementation. That's why what amoeba has done is it has redefined its own specific implementation. So with the, like if you don't have this picture at all, if you don't have this inheritance concept, the same code will be used. Like you have to define all the logic in these classes as well. Okay. So with the help of inheritance, you can inherit or you can use the instant members of the superclass. So inherit says that if you have any common behavior that is applicable to a group of classes, then take out that common behavior and put it in the parent class. And like if, like let's say you have some other method, okay, maybe draw, which is like it's like square has its own implementation, circle has its own implementation, triangle has its own implementation, then amoeba has its own implementation for draw of method. Then it doesn't make sense to put draw of method logic here, because no one is using that logic, because each class has its own specific logic. Then why to put it in the parent class? It does not make any sense. So when you have some behavior that is common to multiple classes, then instead of duplicating the code, you can take out that common behavior and put in the parent class. And if your subclasses extend that class, automatically the behavior is inherited. And if any subclass wants its own logic, they can override the methods. Okay. And now, till now what we have discussed is only the methods are inherited, because only the methods are inherited, right? But in a class, you just don't have any methods. Whenever you say a class has instance variables and a class has methods as well. So even if there is some instance variable that is defined in the shape class, that variable can be used by square as well, circle as well, and the triangle as well. And they can use that variable and they can change the value of that variable, that can be used. So all the members, when I say class members, when I say members of a class, it means methods and then instance variables. So everything will be inherited by the children. Okay. Now here what we have defined is, we have defined we have overridden the method, rotate method and play with sound of method. Now there can be cases where you want to extend. So when I say extend, now let's say I need to, like here in the rotate of method, you have some like rotate of method, you have some logic. First it prints its center and then it does it. Now I have some method like draw method, like let's say draw method is defined in the shape class. Now what I want to do in my amoeba class is I want to use my parent behavior, like whatever the logic that is present in the shape class, and along with that I need to define my own logic as well. Here what we have done is we have written our own logic. So this logic gets executed and you are nowhere reusing the logic that is present in the shape class. But in few cases what you will end up is you need to use the logic that is present in the shape class and then you need to write your own implementation as well. So in that case what you can do is whenever you invoke a method like rotate method, first what you can do is you can invoke super dot rotate. Like we will discuss about the super keyword in later videos, but what you can do is you can do super dot rotate of method. So whenever you do super means parent or the super class, okay, super dot rotate of method, and then this amoeba specific code you can write here below lines. So this way what happens is first this rotates, whenever you do super, it goes to the super class or the parent class and then it invokes that rotate of method, and whatever the logic you have written here, that will be executed. So with the help of this approach you are reusing your parent logic and then you are defining it your own behavior as well. And if you want only your behavior, you need not use this particular line, and whatever the behavior that is present, that gets executed. Okay. Now let us consider another examples as well. Now you would have, like we have seen lot many games like superheroes, right? So there are multiple superheroes, but whenever, like there are multiple superheroes, but whenever you consider a superhero, what characteristics a superhero has? They can put on suit and then they have special powers. Like each superheroes has different special powers, but ultimately they have special power and they can use it. So whenever you use special power of method on any superhero, then like here if you say these are the instance variables, suit, tights, and then special power, okay, and then when you invoke the use special power method, when you invoke it, what it does is goes it whatever the logic, like whatever the instance variable logic that is present here, instance variable value that is present here, maybe it uses that. Now what, instead of defining superhero as a super class, let's say you have a Panther Man as a is one of the superheroes and Fried Eggman is one of the superheroes. Now you can write method like use special power of, put on suit, and then in the use special power of method you can write the logic, and here also it duplicates it. So instead of that, what you can do is you can create one superhero super class and then you can move that logic. Okay, and here if you see, this is the super class. Now these are the instance variables, state and the attributes, and these are the methods, which is nothing but a behavior. Now Fried Eggman is a subclass. Okay, now in the subclass it did not define anything specific to the subclass. So if the subclass did not define anything specific to the subclass, it will, whatever the logic that is present in the superclass gets executed. Okay, whenever you invoke use special power of on this Fried Eggman, whatever the logic that is present here, that gets executed. But here if you see the Pantherman superhero, they don't want logic that is present in the superhero class. Okay, they want their own logic. So that's why what they do is, in the Pantherman class they write use special power of and then put on suit as well. And when you invoke use special power of method on Pantherman, this logic gets executed. For Fried Eggman, this logic gets executed, and for Pantherman, this logic and this logic gets executed. Okay. Now let's see another examples as well. Now if you consider, like we will, if you consider here, doctor, you can consider the doctor scenario. Usually, doctor, what they do, what is the basic functionality of a doctor? They treat patients, right? Now, there are multiple categories among the doctors, like few are the surgeons, few are the family doctors, few are the gynecologists. There are multiple categories that are present in the doctor. Now, but the basic functionality that everyone, or the basic operation or the behavior of a doctor is, they just treat the patient and they work at the hospital. So now what you can do is, like if you see, if you have there, let us consider there is a surgeon and there is a family doctor. Basically, they both treat patients. There can be few extra things that a surgeon does or few extra things that a family doctor does, but ultimately they treat patients. Now, if you don't have this inheritance concept, what you will do, you will write treat patient method here and you will write treat patient method here as well, and both has the same logic and both works at hospital as well. Now, instead of duplicating the code, what you can do is, you can move that logic, like since both works at the hospital, move that instance variable to the doctor class, that is a super class, and treat patient logic, you move it to the super class. But if you look at a surgeon, what surgeon wants is, they want the treat patient method specific to the surgeon, like some logic that is present for the surgeon is quite different from the logic that is present here. What they do is, they have overridden the treat patient of method. Okay, and if you look at a family doctor, they make calls to the home as well, but usually don't call the patient's home, but family doctor does that, right? So he has one more instance variable defined as makes house call, and he has one more method defined give advice. Like if you have a family doctor, what they do is, they make calls to you and they check on you whether you're perfect or whether you need some advice. They do that, but usually doctors doesn't do that, only family doctor does that. So along with the treating patient, he has few other methods as well, like giving advice and making the house call. But when you look at a surgeon, he has treat patient of method a little different than that is defined in the doctor method. That's why he has overridden this. And then he has one more method called make incision. Okay, for a surgeon, this is the another extra operation. Now, if you look at, let us see these questions first. How many instance variables does surgeon have? Now, if you look at the surgeon, how many instance variables the surgeon have? So, in the surgeon class, you did not define any instance variable. But since surgeon is extending the doctor, whatever the instance variables that are present in the doctor will be used by surgeon as well. So, surgeon can use works at hospital instance variable. So here that a surgeon have one instance variable. And how many instance variable does family doctor have? Now if you look at this class, you might think that you just have one instance variable, but that is wrong. This is extending the doctor class. So whatever the instance variables that is present here, that is applicable to family doctor as well. So he has works at hospital instance variable and he has makes house calls instance variable as well too. And how many methods does doctor have? Doctor have a single method. Okay, treat patient of. Now, how many methods does surgeon have? Surgeon, he has treat patient of, make incision of. In his own class. But let's see what are the methods that are present in the super class, because super class methods will be reused by surgeon as well, right? Here, doctor has treat patient of method, but that is overridden by surgeon. So only two methods a surgeon has. But if you look at family doctor, here if you look at a family doctor class, he has give advice of. And people might think that he has only one behavior or one method. But since this family doctor is extending the doctor class, he can use this treat patient method as well. So overall two methods are present in the family doctor. Now, can a family doctor do treat patient of? If you look at a family doctor, can he invoke treat patient of method? Definitely he can invoke, because that is present in the parent class, right? Okay. Now, can a family doctor do make incision of? Family doctor can use only methods that are present in the super class and then his class. He has give advice and treat patient of method. He don't have any make incision. So he can't do that. Make incision is present in the surgeon, not in the family doctor. Now, what you can do is you can compare this inheritance with the family tree. Like, let us consider this as a parent, father or mother. And then here are the siblings, like children. Children 1 and child 1 and the child 2. Now, like let us consider a property thing. Like let's say if a father has some property, then that can be used by both first child and the second child as well, right? Because both has the right to use that property. And let's say the children 1, he earns money, he has got a job and he earns money, and then he brought the property, and this property like this only this particular child 1 has right on this property, but not child 2, because this particular property is not inherited from the father. This is this is bought by the children 1. This is not inherited from the father, so only he has the right. And let's say the children 2 brought some other property, okay, and only children 2 has the right to use that property. But if it's a father property, then it can be used by both children 1 and children 2. The same thing is here. Whatever methods that are present here, that can be used by both and that can be overridden as well. But if there is any specific method that is present in the children 1, that can't be used by the children 2, because that is present only in the children 1. Okay. Yeah. Now let us see another example. Now let's consider animal example. Okay. If you look at animals, here lion, tiger, hippo, dog, cat, wolf, all are animals. Now they have few things in common and they have few things specific to their own classification. Like lion belongs to a specific family, right? So they have few behaviors or few things specific to their own community, and they have few things in common because all are animals. So if you think about all these animals, lion, tiger, dog, cat, wolf, what are all the common properties that these animals will have? Like every animal can make sound, right? Like dogs bark and lion roar. So they have their own behavior, like they make their own way of sound, but ultimately they make noise. Like a dog bark and lion roar, but they make noise. So whatever the way they make noise, though the make noise is different, but they make noise. They will bark, but they make noise. Lions will roar, but they make noise. And even the cat also make noise. Okay, so this is the common thing. And all animals eats, right? So every animal eat. And then if you look at sleep roam, and every animal sleeps and roams it. Every animal sleeps and roams. But these are all the behaviors that are present. Okay, these are all the common behaviors for every animal. Lion make noise, lion eat, lion sleep, and lion roam. Tiger also make noise, tiger eat, tiger sleep, and tiger roam. Dog also make noise, eat, sleep, roam. Okay, so these are all the common things. So what you will do is, instead of defining that in each and every class, what you will do is, since all these are animals, let's create a superclass called animal, and then what I'll do is, I'll put all these methods in the animal. Okay. Now I have some default logic present here, and if you look at these instance variables, let's say you are defining a simulation game. Okay, lion has, the picture of lion is different, the picture of tiger is different, and then the food that is eaten by lion and tiger, cat are different, but they eat food, they have the picture, but the values could be different. Okay, so what you have done is, whatever the things that you think that all these animals will do, you abstracted out all those things, be it instance variables or be it behaviors, and you have put it in the animal class. Okay. Now, when you look at lion class and all, when you look at these methods specifically, if like when lion, tiger, dog, cat sleep or they roam, they do the same thing. Like let's consider sleep and roam. Everyone just sleeps. They don't like the behavior of sleep is not different for lion, tiger or cat. Everyone sleeps in the same way. And they also roam. They just wake up and then just roam around. So that is also a common thing. So what you can do is you can have the logic for sleep and roam common to all. So you need not write or define the sleep and roam methods separately, because whatever the logic that is defined in the animal class is same for all these classes for sleep and roam of method, and you need not redefine them. But when you look at make, noise and eat, they make noise, but they do it differently. So you have to override this make noise of method and add your own logic for lion. And you have to override the override that logic that is present in like that is present in the hippo, that is present in the animal, and you have to write your own logic for hippo. The same thing is applicable for tiger, dog, cat as well. They make noise but differently. So that different implementation has to be specified in these classes, right? And even eat also, if you see, few like if you look at the animals, right, few eat grass and few eat animals, like few are herbivores and few are carnivores. The food they eat and the way they eat are different from one category to another category. Cats eat a different thing, like cats eat rats, right? And dogs eat a different thing, lions eat a different thing. So make noise and eat of method logic is different. It's not same. Whatever the logic that is defined here, it's not same. So what you can do is sleep of method and roam of method, you don't touch them. But make, noise and eat of methods are different for different categories, and you do your own implementation. Now if you see here, these two methods, make, noise and rotate of method, are like this logic varies. So you redefine or you override the logic that is present in the animal, and then you have your own logic. But these are same. Okay, these are same, then you need not touch it. Now if you look at this particular diagram, what you have done, you have defined some default logic in make, noise and eat of method, but that is not common for all. So what lion has done, they have overridden the behavior here, and they have overridden the behavior, and each category has overridden, which means that they write make, noise of method, and then it writes its own logic. Like because dogs bark, you have to write your own logic in the make, noise of method. Okay, now that is done. Now let's see, this is one example which we have already discussed. Like if your subclasses has its own specific implementation, put it here. And when the JVM invokes it, what it does, it invokes this make noise of method instead of the superclass. Okay. Now let's see this particular diagram. Okay. There is this roam of method, right? Make, noise of method and the eat of method, anyway the implementation is different for different categories, and you have written it. If you look at roam of method here, what happens is dog and wolf roams similarly, and then lion, tiger and cat roams similar. Like the roam method for the lion, tiger, cat are same, and roam method for the wolf and the dog are same, right? So here what had happened is, whatever the default logic that is present here is not same for all. But let's say here you have written some default logic, okay, that is not applicable for all classes. So what they can do is they can override that method, roam of method, and they can write the logic here, roam and all. But finally what we observed is, these three classes has a similar roam logic, and these two classes has a similar roam logic, right? Now if you look at it, you are again duplicating the code. These three classes has a similar and these two classes has a similar. Now what you can do is you can introduce one more level, one more super class like fill-in, hippo and like Kennen here, and whatever the Rome logic that is present here, you shift that here. Okay, and whatever the Rome logic that is present in the wolf and the dog, you shift that to canine, and this canine will implement the animal class. So initially what you have done, initially if you see, you have make noise, like you have sleep here, you have roam here, you have sleep, you have roam. Like let's consider sleep method, sleep method, sleep method. So you found that sleep method is same for all these classes, and then what you have done is you have created super class, and then you have moved this super class sleep method to here, and then you have done this, you all these classes will inherit it. But now what you have observed, you have done the same thing. Rome logic is for three classes it's same. So what you have done, you have created one more class and then you have moved that logic. Whatever you have done before, you have done the same now. But here what happens is, before you had just one super class, but here if you see, what happens is this feline is the children of another super class. Because fine, if you look at animals in general, if you think animals, right, dog is an animal, cat is an animal, lion is an animal, and the dog is like tiger is also animal. But even among these, there are other categories as well, like herbivore community, carnivore community. Under herbivores, like cows comes under herbivores, and carnivores other animals come. So there is another category present inside the animals, and that category is this. Okay. Now if you see, feline superclass is animal. Okay. And lion superclass is this. So you have this, like, which also means that like lion extends feline, right? And feline extends animal, which means that lion extends animal. Okay, that logic is applicable. So like when you do this logic, you might get the doubt, right? Okay, whatever methods or the instance variables that are present in the feline, only those can be used by the lion. No, it's not so. Since feline is extending another superclass, whatever the logic that is present here can be reused by lion as well. Because ultimately what happens is, whatever logic that is present here, this will be reused by feline. And whatever the logic that is present, like now it will be reused by feline, which means that all these methods are part of feline. Now lion is extending feline. So whatever the logic or the methods or the instance variable that are part of the feline will be reused by lion. Okay. So which means that here lion has two parents like feline, and this is the grandparent. Like you can consider with the family structure, this is the grandparent and he is the parent and this is the children. So grandsons and granddaughters can inherit characteristics from grandparents, because their parents inherit the characteristics from the grandparents. So automatically those will be inherited to the children as well, right? Like let's see what happens here. Now if you look here, you have an animal, okay, and then you have make, noise, eat, sleep, roam. And what we have done, you have defined Kennen, one more category. Like this is the grandparent and this is the parent and this is the children, okay. And what happens is, you have defined roam method here. And then when you define wolf, what happens? Wolf has only specific implementation for make, noise and eat, okay. Now let's see. Let us consider what you have done is, you have created an object for wolf, okay. Wolf w equal to new wolf of. And when you invoke make noise of method, which gets invoked? Like if you look at make noise of method is present in animal, and make noise of method is present in wolf as well. But if you invoke this particular make noise of method gets invoked. Now let us see first and let's understand how that works. And now when you invoke roam of method, if you look at roam of method is present here, roam of method is present here. But when you invoke w.roam of, this roam of method gets invoked. And then let's consider wolf.eat of. So wolf.eat of, when wolf.eat of gets invoked, eat of method is present here, animal, and wolf eat of method is present here. but this gets invoked. Okay, whatever logic that is present here gets invoked. And if you consider sleep of method is present only here. Okay, then this gets invoked. So if you look at it, let's consider a roam of method or make noise of method. So make noise of method, this gets invoked. So if you look here, what happens is, like, this is the hierarchical structure, right? This is the children, and this is the parent, and this is the grandparent. So when you invoke a method, make noise of, this is present in grandparent as well, but whatever the logic that is present in the children gets invoked. That is given importance because it follows the hierarchical structure. Whatever that is present in the lowest one, that wins. Whatever the logic that is present in the lowest class, that wins. That's simple logic. So you define a hierarchical structure, and then whenever you invoke a method, start looking from children, like start looking from bottom, like whichever method that comes from the bottom, that is given importance. So if you look here, whenever you do make noise of, start looking from the bottom. So this has the make noise of method. Okay, that gets invoked. And when you look at roam method, so start looking from bottom or the lowest ancestor. So roam of method does not present here, roam of method is present here, so this gets invoked. And when you do the eat of method, start looking from the lowest one. Eat of method is present here, so this gets invoked. When you look at sleep of method, sleep of method is not present here. So go to here. Go here is also it's not present. Then go here. So sleep of method gets invoked. So whenever you create an object and then you invoke methods, whatever is the lowest one, whatever logic that is present in the lowest one in the hierarchical structure, that is given importance. That is a thumb rule. Like with this thumb rule, you can identify which method gets invoked very easily. Okay. Now let's look at one more example. Okay, this is just an exercise kind of thing. So if you look at clothing, so clothings are different. You have t-shirts, you have shirts, you have saris, you have boxers and all. But this is the super class or this is the parent class because all this comes under the cloths. Now these are all the boxers and shirt or the subclasses. If you see, clothing is the super class, more abstract, and boxers and shirts are the subclasses. This is the inheritance class diagram. Let's see. So clothing is a class, boxers is a class, and shirt is a class. So for clothing, let's identify what is the subclass and what is the superclass for each and every class. Okay. Now if you look at clothing, does clothing has any superclass? No. Clothing itself is a parent, and in this particular diagram, you don't have any parent defined for clothing. So the superclass is null here. And if you look at subclasses, clothing has two children. Subclasses are nothing but children, boxers and t-shirts. So here boxers and shirt comes as a subclass. When you look at boxers class, does boxers has any parent? Yes, clothing is a parent. Clothing class is a parent. It is the superclass. So clothing is a superclass. And does boxers has any children? No, it does not have any subclasses, nothing. And when you look at a shirt, what happens? What is the superclass for the shirt? Clothing. So clothing comes here and subclasses, it does not have any subclasses. Okay. This is the inheritance diagram of the subclasses. Inheritance diagram. Now we have already discussed the doctor example, right? Like doctor, family doctor and the surgeon. So what had happened is, if you look at the code, till now what we have done is we have just looked at the diagrams. Let's see with the code as well. So doctor is a class, family doctor is a class, and then surgeon is also a class. Now since we said that doctor is a parent or a superclass, what you have to do is you have to use extends keyword, and then whatever class is the parent, you have to use that doctor. And if you, even the surgeon as well, extends doctor. So you can see this example. Okay, doctor is the subclasses of the surgeon and family doctor. Now what you can do is, like, if you let me write one more class. Okay, test class, and see what happens. So what I'll do is here, like, I'll write main method because main method is the starting point of invocation, right? I'll write main method here, public void, and then I'll try to do history of marks. Now what I'll do is I'll invoke surgeon, like surgeon. I'll create one object for surgeon, okay, and I'll create one more object for family doctor as well. Okay, family doctor equal to new family doctor. Now let's see. I like, if you look at a surgeon, it has one method, make incision method, right? But that is not present here. And give advice method is also not present in surgeon. Let's try to do that. Now when I invoke give advice on surgeon, let's see, give advice. And when I invoke make incision on family doctor, see, compiler is giving error because this method is not present here. If you see, give advice cannot resolve because give advice is present in the family doctor, not in the surgeon, right? And make incision is present in the surgeon, not in the family doctor. These two are the siblings. But let's try with treat patient of method, surgeon dot treat patient. It works. And if you do the family doctor surgeon, like if you look at family doctor example, it does not have any treat patient, but still it did not throw any error. It works because it is extending the doctor, and doctor has treat patient of method that can be used. Okay, yeah, that's it about the inheritance. And in the coming video we will see what are the do's and don'ts of the inheritance. Thank you.